Let's be honest, raw sales data is normally a mess of spikes and dips. To find the actual trend, you need to find the signal in the noise, and to do that, I use moving averages. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly how to use SQL Window Functions to build moving averages by category. If you want to stop guessing and see the real story in your data, then this video is for you. Let's jump into the code. To get started with moving averages, if you've got transaction data, first thing you want to do is group the data to its appropriate aggregation. Then you want to decide on the windows for the moving averages, what dimensions and how many instances do you want to take. The third thing you want to do is write the window function, average in this case, to partition over the dimensions and order. And the last thing we want to do is choose the rows to include in the average by using rows between. So for this, we're using last 3, last 5, and so on and so forth. This is the breakdown of the window function. So first we're using an average function in here. This is like the group by average revenue. And then we're choosing what we're doing this over. So over bracket, and then we're partitioning by store name. So the average is just going to be on everything which has the same store name. Then we're going to choose what we're ordering by. I'm ordering by sales month, and you normally order by the time dimension. And then the next thing is the most important. There's 3 options I've given here. Rows between. So for the first one, I'm saying rows between 3 preceding and 1 preceding. That'll give you the average of the last 3. You can go 2 preceding and current row. That's the last 3 including current row. And then you can go rows between 3 preceding and 1 following. So if you have extra data points, you can take averages of the next one. This is the data set we're looking at. So really we're just looking at in this data set, we're looking at a date. We're going to get a month out of this. We're looking at a store name. You can see this data set has many store names, and that's what we're going to use for our averages. And then we're looking at sales dollars. So the first thing I'm going to do is a CTE and a group by the transaction data. So I want to get this into month, store name, and sum of sales. I'm just taking this for 1 year. And what I'm going to do with this data set, which is my group by data set, is I'm going to turn this into a CTE. So when I have a CTE, which is a subquery, what I can do is I can just do a select statement from that. To turn this into a CTE, I can just say with, give it a name as, and then wrap this group by in brackets, and then I can select from the group by without having to do any aggregation in the query. So now I'm selecting sales month, store name, and monthly revenue from what I've called this, which is monthly store sales, and I get the exact same output. And now I can put in my window function. So I'm going to start with the average monthly revenue, and then with a window function, what we need to put in is the keyword over, and then brackets, and then I need a partition here, so I can partition by my store name. And this is the query we're going to use for the first average, and this is just going to average everything. So I'm not using an average of the last 3 or 4 instances. What I'm doing here is I'm just getting a total average, but I'm getting a total average for the store name. So this will look in the data set, take all the store names that are common and do an average of the figure in there. So you can see this first store, Alcool, that has an average for all the rows. And then when I move on to the next store, Brooklyn Grocery, you can see that has an average for all the rows that just have that name, Brooklyn Grocery. And you can see how powerful this is when we start introducing some more aspects here. This video is brought to you by DataCamp. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of online learning. And DataCamp is my go-to platform for really mastering data skills. It's where I've sharpened a lot of my own SQL skills. They've got an SQL fundamentals track that takes you from writing your first query all the way to joins, subqueries, and window functions. All hands-on with the ability to write code directly in the browser. No setups, no installs, just straight SQL coding to sharpen your skill. What I love most about DataCamp is that you're literally coding in the browser window from day one. You're not just passively watching videos. That makes a huge difference when learning SQL as a beginner or intermediate. Once you're ready, you can demonstrate your skills by taking DataCamp's SQL Associate Certificate, which is recognized by employers. SQL is still the #1 requirement hiring managers look for in data roles. Having a recognized certificate makes a huge difference when applying for roles. I'll leave the link to DataCamp in the description. Now back to the video. So I'm moving on to the last 3 rows. Just a small change in here. I'm going to introduce in the over order by sales month, just to make sure that this is ordered correctly when we're taking our last 3. And now I'm going to say rows between, and this is how I decide what I'm taking for the average. Rows between to preceding and current row. And what this will do is this will take an average of the two rows that come right before the row we're looking at and that row and give us an average. So you can see in here, I've got a monthly revenue of 7195. The first average is just that 7195. The second one is going to take in the two monthly revenue rows, and the third one is going to take in three. So it's going to take the last two in the current row. If I don't want to take in the current row, what I can change this to is rows between 3 preceding and 1 preceding, and this will give us an average of the 3 rows that came before. So the first average is null here because there's no figure before the first row, and as we go down it's bringing in the average of the figures before, so the last 1, 2 and 3 as we go down, and then that will move. Here's some more. So for this one I'm going rows between 4 preceding and current row. That's getting the last 5 including the current row. I can do an average unbounded preceding and current row. That'll just do a moving average of everything that came before including the current row. And finally you can also include following. So this one I'm taking an average of the last, this row and next row, rows between 1 preceding and 1 following. That'll also take the current row. So this is what it looks like. The moving average for 5 months is very similar to the moving average for 3 months, but once we get down to our fourth observation here, you can see that's taking more into the average. The moving average is just taking an average of everything as we go down, so that'll keep recalculating for everything in that store. And finally this one is taking an average of the current row, the next row and the previous row. So as we go down we can see all these averages are recalculated on the store name, and that's the beauty of a window function, is that you can define based on a dimension how you want your calculations done. Window functions may look difficult, but once you write a few, they're very easy to put together. And we are living in 2026, so now you know how they work. You can always use AI if you run into any syntax errors. I hope you found this video useful. Follow for more SQL tips.